McAfee's lost his mind.
That's massive. The Colts have the football. Nessa throws one over the interception. Marlon Jackson. Marlon's got it. We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl.
The rivalry is back on.
What's up, everybody? We are For the Shoe. I'm here with Andy and Trev. Rob is on his way. He will be here any minute. So last week we finished up our 53-man roster and decided, since the last few weeks have been kind of straightforward and kind of serious, we decided we were going to have a little fun tonight and just talk our favorite Colts memories. So if you're viewing, make sure you drop some comments in here. Let's talk some good Colts memories. Before we get into that, we're going to do our shout-outs. We're going to give our shout-out to NFL Longest Yard. It is our 32-team group. And so if you like to talk football without the trash talk, go ahead and join NFL Longest Yard. We're going to do a shout-out to Sports Fanatics. If you like updates and polls and all different types of stuff that has to do with sports, Sports Fanatics is the place to go. They are also tied in with NFL Longest Yard. So if you want to join some other groups that include MLB, NHL, NBA without the trash talk, you can definitely find those links in Sports Fanatics. And then our last shout out to DNR Breaks. This is one of the best break rooms I have been in. So if you like to collect sports memorabilia, go ahead and jump over to DNR Breaks and join that group. Also, DNR Breaks is who provides our trivia winners, which tonight we do have a trivia question for everybody tonight. Andy has come up with one. We will bring that in later on. So how's everybody doing?
Good.
Oh, you know.
Some Colts.
Oh, yeah.
Ready for the season to get here, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I'm so tired of the speculations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
me
Phillip
too.
Rivers going to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, even though that's what we do every Saturday, but
I know, but it's like it's going to be more fun when the season comes and we can just talk about how Phillip Rivers lit it up against the Tennessee Titans.
Hopefully.
Oh, I said it. I said what I said. All right.
I want to do it against the Ravens.
Against the Ravens?
Yeah.
Maybe not as much.
No, he can do it. I believe in him.
I want to see him light it up against every team this year. It'd be nice.
Speaking of, did you guys see the he had like an interview recently and he was just kind of just shooting the shit, just talking about getting to Indiana and everything, talking about his throwing with Jack and Paris Campbell. It's pretty interesting to hear him talk.
I did see him talk about throwing with Paris Campbell and who was it, Jack Doyle? I didn't watch the interview though. It's been a pretty busy week for me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to watch it. But I mean Jack Doyle is going to be one hell of a safety blanket. What's up, Mert? Tell Michaela I said hi. Yeah, so I've always relied on Jack Doyle as that safety net anyway. And Phillip Rivers loves tight ends. He's not the typical tight end Phillip Rivers would normally use. So It's going to be interesting to see how we mix it up between Jack Doyle and Trey Burton.
Hey, throw me in there. I'll catch him.
Suit him up. He's going in.
Hey, you won't fumble it week one on a way to come back.
Yeah, I don't know. I might.
I was so upset when that happened. You don't talk about a blast from the past. Jack Doyle fumbling it.
Yeah.
On us trying to come back.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that one out of the way. That was rough.
Yeah, that hurt so bad, man. And the worst part was so many people hated on Jack Doyle for fumbling. I'm like, hey, it was a good defensive play.
Yeah.
You can't just blame Jack for that one. But everybody wanted Andrew Luck to get that win.
Yeah, he's usually dependable though. Jack Doyle, you can usually count on him.
Yeah, he was definitely the guy who replaced Reggie Wayne as our third down guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Andy, let's hear it. What's one of your favorite Colts memories?
That's a tough one because they're mostly going to be newer moments. And they're probably going to be a little bit more personal because I've been to a handful of games now. Well, the first game I went to was 2014 against the Texans. We won the division with that win, so that was pretty special. I went to the game where Peyton Manning got his number retired, so that was pretty cool too.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think everybody was there for that one too, huh? I think Marvin Harrison came out.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
he did.
I think Reggie Wayne was there too.
I think they did a thing at halftime where they simulated a touchdown pass from Peyton Manning, and it was Reggie Wayne who he threw it to.
That's pretty cool.
I think one of my favorite games that I remember watching as a kid, because I grew up in South Jersey, right? So you don't get to watch the Colts very often unless they're playing one of those eastern side of the country teams. So one of the favorites, I believe, was, since I was a Colts fan, it was the first time we got to play the Eagles. And I was so excited. I was talking trash because my whole family is Eagles fans. So I was so excited to watch this game, man. And it was, man, the final score was 36-6, bro. That's all I remember from that game. We destroyed Philly. And I was in my house as a little kid just talking so much trash to everybody. It was so much fun, man.
Yeah.
I know Trev's over here.
Go to your room.
I had the opposite experience of talking trash to my family because, I mean, y'all know I'm from South Louisiana. And the first time I recall us playing the Saints was the freaking Super Bowl. And I'm just sitting there. So we didn't have a TV at the time. Like, we had just moved into our house. So we're listening to it over the radio. And Louisiana, everybody's outside on their porches and just hollering to each other, hey, you see that touchdown and stuff? I'm just sitting there like arms crossed, mad as hell.
Man, I definitely have had those moments, especially being in the Army and being in all these different places.
Yeah.
And you have all these different fans that you work with, right? So, like, it's just crazy. And you go to whoever, you know, you got, like, I've got a couple friends that are Raiders fans, and anytime I play the Raiders, you know, guess who I'm talking shit to all week long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking shit to that Raiders fan. And then midway through the game, I believe it was actually a couple years ago this happened. Someone, one of my Raiders fans, he was a player that I was coaching on in semi-pro, and he messaged me. He was like, how you enjoying this ass whooping? It was like halftime. We were losing, man. And I was like, it's only halftime. Just wait to see what happens. I think we ended up actually winning that game. And I told him, I was like, dude, don't talk trash at halftime, man. You can't do it. You talk before the game, and then you talk after the game. You don't talk.
Set yourself up.
At
Yeah.
halftime. Yeah. You're just expecting, now you're getting it worse than what you were giving it.
Especially with the Colts, man. We're notorious for coming back. Like, we have so many epic comebacks just throughout history.
Especially when Andrew Luck was under center, man. Andrew Luck was not at all.
Yeah, Chiefs fans know better than to talk trash at us at halftime.
Yeah, for real.
They still bring that up too. That game, I remember watching that game. I was so mad at halftime. I was disgusted with myself. I was like, "This is horrible. How are we getting beat this bad?" And we were at home.
Yeah.
We were at Lucas Oil Stadium. It was so mad.
There were multiple games during that early first couple years of Luck's career where I didn't even start watching the game till the second half because I knew that's when the Colts would start playing. Like, the first half, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna get myself mad. I'm not gonna watch. Second half, here we go.
I remember last year when we went to play the Chiefs. I was like, I told people, I was like, man, I'm not even gonna be mad if we lose. I'm just gonna sit here and watch this.
I was expecting it.
I was expecting it. It was full blown.
Everybody was,
man. And
in their house too.
Yeah, and I was like, at night, yeah, and we don't play good at Sunday night ever. So I was like sitting there. I was like, we were playing well, and I was like, I'm not gonna get too excited. It was like I couldn't even cheer during the game. I was just expecting to lose. So I was like, I'm not gonna get too excited about that touchdown. You know, it's Patrick Mahomes. You know, yeah, he hurt his ankle. I don't care.
It's gonna happen.
It doesn't mean anything. That dude is a playmaker. He's gonna make something happen in this game.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it became it only became real when the game was over. And I was just like, wow, we really just did beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then it's like you can't even be excited because it's already over.
Yeah.
Oh no, I was super excited. I was going off. I didn't care.
Yeah, man, that was a good game, man.
That was definitely a steal for us.
I had an old boss where I work who's a big Chiefs fan, and I first met him, or I was in training around the time the Colts lost in the playoffs to the Chiefs, and I saw he's a Chiefs fan. I'm like, you piece of garbage. But he's real good natured about it. So when we beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead, I took my lunch break. I was like, "Where's Roger?"
Like, let's hear it now, bro.
I
Yeah,
do it all
oh,
the
and
time, man.
thing is, he's a great sport about it. He was happy. He was actually like legit happy for us. Like he
I
was
think
like,
he knew
well
that was our
done.
highlight of the year.
Yeah, I think it was like 2013. I believe that's what season it was. When we played Seattle in Indy, and we ended up beating them, but we weren't expected to beat them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I had a guy I worked with. He's a Seattle Seahawks fan, and he lived behind me. And every time we scored, I went back and talked shit. Every time I would walk to the back porch, and I was screaming across the yard, man. Hey, did you see that shit? You know, like,
I believe it was that year too. I think we were the only team in the league that beat both Seattle and the Broncos, who ended
Yeah,
up
we
in the
were.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, we ended up in the Super Bowl that year. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were.
Of
We
course, I
also
think
we beat every team in the playoffs that made it to the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
But we lost to everyone who was garbage. I remember getting destroyed by the Chargers that year, and they were trash. I was like, "What is going on? Like, we beat
see the
San Francisco
Chargers.
in San Fran, you know."
Chargers actually did go to the playoffs that year, though.
I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Yeah,
I
they
just know that
snuck in as like a 6th seed.
I wasn't expecting to lose against them, you know, because we beat San Francisco in San Fran, we beat Seattle, we beat Denver. I think I don't remember if we played New England that year, but I remember that year. I thought that was like, I was like, yo, this is our year.
That was when we met them in the playoffs that year. That was when they introduced us to LeGarrette Blount.
Yep, because that was the year we beat Kansas City in the playoffs with the
Yeah.
comeback wild card. Yep, and then we beat Denver.
Yeah, so when you had said blast from the past, that's actually the first thing my mind went to is the huge comeback against Kansas City. I mean,
Yeah, that
obviously
was-
my memories are more recent, but freaking that was a big highlight for me.
Mine. I say blast from the past, and I think Marlins got it. Marlins got it. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Colts are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
That's a blast
I had
from the
school the
past.
next day, so I had to go to
So did
bed.
I. So did I, but I was still excited, man. I think I was a freshman in high school, so if I wasn't
See,
a
I
little
was in
kid,
middle school.
Yeah.
I remember that year my mom like painted my face different colors, and we like had my hair dyed different colors and shit for the Super Bowl. And Devin Hester returned that kickback, first kick. I was like, oh no.
So,
This is
fun
what it's gonna
fact:
go.
that Super Bowl, I guess, was the first Colts game that I watched it start to finish. Because at the time, I was not as into football as I am now. I was like, Colts are the local team. They wear blue. Favorite color is blue. I'll support them. Go ahead, whatever. And I don't think I understood that it was the Super Bowl, or maybe I did, but it just didn't mean as much to me then as it does now, obviously.
Right.
But I did watch that game, and I think the only reason I was able to was because class was going to be canceled next day no matter what, because Colts were in the Super Bowl, and that was the first time it ever happened for Indy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that Devin Hester return. I'm like,
Yeah. And then you see Reggie wide open a couple plays later. You're just like, okay, I feel better. I feel better. Did you guys watch the game before?
no, I did. I told you I was sleeping.
Oh, bro,
Yeah, I was 7. I don't have any recollection of it.
that New England game, man, that shit was rough. I watched multiple times before us making a Super Bowl. I watched us lose to New England in the playoffs, and it was starting to really hurt at that point. And I remember the year before, it was like the same situation, you know, playing in New England, and we are down 21-3. We're getting our asses handed to us. It started to become very repetitive, and I was like, yo, is it like, what is happening here, you know? And then that year, it was the same thing, you know, except I think we were in Indy that year. We didn't play in New England the year. We played in Indy, and we went down 21-3, and I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done, man. I remember going to my room and playing Madden because I got so mad at halftime. I was done, man. I was so pissed. And then I start hearing my mom cheering. After a while, she's cheering out in the living room. I come back out, and we're coming back, bro. It was like we're down by 1 score. I'm like, oh. Came and sat back down, started watching the game again. Hey, what's up, Damon? And then it was just we came back, we won that game, and I was just like, oh my God. It was like I didn't know what to feel. You know, that game was crazy.
I don't remember if my dad watched it at home, but he told me that when Adai scored to take the lead, he jumped up and he smacked his hand on the ceiling.
Yeah, it was like that, but I was really short. I was a freshman in high school. So
See, I was too young to even like understand what was going on, but I did have a big ass Joseph Adai jersey that I wore to school all the time. So I'm talking like 4 sizes too big, but I rocked that thing. I didn't even know who he was, but I was like, let's get it.
yeah, but see, even when we're kids, those jerseys are freaking huge, man.
Yeah.
It was like Jesus. I had dude, my Bob Sanders jersey that I got that year. It's the Super Bowl jersey. The thing still fits me. It's been like
Nice.
like what, 15 years almost?
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Jesus.
funny.
It's back when everything was baggy.
That's like, yeah. No, I'm not drinking Coors Light for you, Damon. All right, I'm not drinking Coors Light for you.
Never.
That damn piss water. Get out of here.
Got some smooth whiskey though.
Oh man, tequila the other day, dude. I went through a whole bottle. It was a bad decision. Bad decision, bro. I woke up the next day. I'm pretty sure I was still drunk.
Yeah,
I
I
made
go
a
to
bad
the field
decision
tomorrow,
of a
so
different
you know
kind
what I'm
last
doing.
night.
What'd you say?
I made a bad decision of a different kind last night. I stopped by this place called the Ghost Grill, a local place. I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. They had ghost pepper seasoned fries. I got some of those, and I've had worse hot experiences, but the delayed effects, if you know what I mean, are still kind of giving me problems.
I don't mess with those, dude. Anything ghost pepper? No. Is it named after TY?
No.
Like that damn car. Did you see that car that they made? The Ghost Edition Camry or some shit?
Sounds sweet.
I want one. I want one. These things are nice. Hey, if you just came on and you just started viewing, we do have trivia tonight. So if you want to stay on, if you're here, go ahead and drop some comments. Let us know what some of your favorite Colts memories are.
Yeah,
we're
I got
not
a good one for you tonight.
We're definitely just talking Colts tonight. So we'll even get into some other stuff about the current roster and stuff like we always do because we can never stay away from it. Rob will be here soon, so if you guys just view to watch Rob, because we all know he's a handsome man, he'll be on eventually.
That's the real
all
show.
right. That's the real show is when Rob's on here, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody comes for you or me, Trev.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man. Yeah, you remember when Andrew Luck made his first comeback?
No, actually. His first one, who would that be against?
Green Bay.
I remember the game, but
Yeah, Green Bay.
Green Bay.
I knew it would be his rookie year. I didn't know which game it would be. I've watched that game, and that wasn't that one of Reggie's like single best games his entire career?
Yeah, that was one hell of a game. I didn't watch the whole thing, but that was nuts. I wish I would have watched it. But I remember, I think it was like the next week we did it again against Detroit. I want to say.
I think Detroit was late in that season, and Green Bay was like week 5.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There's one way to find out.
Yeah, I know that the Detroit game though. It was, I believe, 4 seconds on the clock or something, and we were on the 11-yard line.
Yeah, and it was 4th down.
Yeah, and it was 4th down, and Andrew Luck rolled out to the right and then just kind of into the end zone. It was so sweet. I remember, man, because I remember watching it. I remember turning it on at that moment, and the person I was watching it with was like, "Dude, there's no way they're not winning. I was like, "Fuck outta here. There's still 4 seconds on the clock. What are you talking about?"
There's always time.
There's always time, man. Always.
Yeah, let's see. We got the Detroit Lions that year, week 13.
Yeah, that was a game. That was a game.
And then Green Bay was week 5. And then week 15 of that year, we played Houston. We played Houston week 15, and then week 17, we lost to them in Houston. I'm looking it up on the Wikipedia page. It's the only note for that one is this was Indianapolis's last loss to a division opponent until 2015.
Damn. It's easy to forget, man. We were running roughshod over the division for a while there.
Yeah, we won like 15 straight against the division before we lost again.
It was 16, and the only reason we lost the next one was because Andrew Luck was on IR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the division wasn't so hot, but still.
I mean, our division has never been great. If you look at the history of our division, we've got 20 years together almost, right? And 3 Super Bowl appearances and 1 ring in the last 20 years in our division.
Only 2 appearances in the Super Bowl. Oh, you said the division.
Tennessee. Tennessee also made it to a Super Bowl and lost Super Bowl to the Rams by a yard.
Technically, that doesn't count as our division because that was before the AFC South was created because it was before the Texans.
Was it 2001, correct?
It was 99, and the Texans' first year was 02.
That's right.
I mean, I count it, but technically it doesn't count.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, but either way, I mean, like, the Colts are the only team in the division that have, like, a really strong history, you know. Titans have been good here or there. Texans are good now, I guess. Jaguars are there.
Jaguars are there. The Jaguars started out really strong in their like first couple seasons. I think they made like their first 2 years were AFC Championship appearances.
So when I was a kid, I remember being afraid to play Jacksonville. But back then, I didn't understand everything about the game like I do now with the divisions and everything. I just liked the Colts, and I just watched the Colts. I didn't understand, like, oh, they're in a division where they play 3 other teams twice a year,
right?
And then everybody else. I didn't understand that as a kid, so I was always wondering, why the heck are we playing this team twice a year? I hate this. You know, they always gave us trouble when they joined the AFC South. You know,
I didn't even understand that. I was just like, or all I know is my dad was like, we don't like the Titans in here, or we don't like the Jags in here. I don't even think there was a point where he mentioned the Texans because I guess they were just that bad at the time. But
they were brand new, man. No one was concerned with them. It's not like hockey when Winnipeg came back, started a new franchise, and they, close to making a Stanley Cup.
Or Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah,
Vegas did it. Crazy.
Go Golden Knights.
Yeah, I was miserable that 1 year recent, what was it, like 17, 18 or something, when the Jags made the AFC Championship game. I could not bear to see them in the Super Bowl, dude. It'd be rough.
See, I was the exact opposite. I was so irritated. I was so irritated at the thought of New England going because I was afraid that nobody could beat them in the Super Bowl.
It was a lose-lose.
And because of that, I was 100% behind the Jags in that one. I was sick. I was like, fuck New England.
So I'm weird, right? So I'm a guy that will normally root for the AFC at all times. If obviously it's like the Eagles or something, I'll probably root for them a little bit just because it's the Eagles and it's my hometown. But other than that, it's always AFC, unless New England, obviously.
Except for
we do not root for New England whatsoever. Anybody else? So even if it's the AFC South that's there, I'll root for the AFC South, man. It's the same way. If we don't make it further, I'll root for them. But the only thing I hate about it is afterwards is everyone wants to talk shit.
Yeah.
And like Titans fans, They drive me nuts right now. You know.
See, I'm actually
Well-
kind of the opposite. I don't know what my reasoning is for this. I think maybe it's because I have family in Tennessee, but the only AFC South team that I can tolerate is the Titans. I don't like the Texans, and I can't stand the Jaguars and their fans. Like they drive me nuts. But Titans, I've always been like okay with. I don't know why. I don't have a reason for it. It's just how
I
it
don't
is.
know.
For me, it's
I think-
always back and forth. I think it's just a back and forth between maybe the Texans and the Titans because I'm with you. I can't stand the Jags. I can't stand Duval.
Yeah. It's like, dude, your city's not even that good. Get out of here.
I'm gonna give a shout out here. We got Colts fans watching from Mexico.
It's awesome.
Just want to say what's up, man. Welcome. You can come and watch every week. Hey, I don't think there's really one team in the AFC South I actually hate. I just think I hate fans more than I hate the team itself. Duval. The first time I heard Duval was like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
That's how much I pay
that's
attention
why
to their fans.
They started doing it when they were good for a little bit.
Yeah.
they got
I
good.
hate-
They started going Duval, and all of a sudden they don't stop doing it. And I can't stand it.
Yeah, and
Here's
then
the
last year, like all 12 fans were going Duval.
Yeah, and the thing is too is it's like Jags fans had that 1 year, right?
No.
To me, Tennessee had their 1 year last year, and they blew it. You know, you had a new quarterback.
Jags blew it the 2017.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if you go anywhere, all you're gonna hear is, "Oh well, we made it to the AFC Championship." Well,
Right.
for your you want a participation trophy because here's the thing: you didn't win a division, you didn't win the AFC, and you definitely didn't win the Super Bowl. So what do you want?
Now, see,
You
you
want a
said
ribbon?
they didn't even win the division. I will back them up when they're talking shit to the Texans because of that reason. They didn't win the division, but they outlasted the Texans in the playoffs.
They didn't even play the Texans in the playoffs. It's not like the
Don't
year
matter.
before.
And
It
then
does matter. Because here's the thing: if we were able to say it the year before, right? Because we beat Houston, who won the division, in the playoffs to make it further. But
Right.
Tennessee didn't even get to play Houston in the playoffs. So to me, Houston is still technically they are the AFC South champs. They made it in the playoffs at 9-7. Tennessee.
Yeah,
They've been 9-7 for like a goddamn 20 years in a row.
for real.
I think they're going to go 9-7 again this year. So
I think they're going to
that's
go
why
9-7 again this year.
I need the Colts to go at least 10-6 so that we can win the division.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't hate the teams. I hate their fans, the majority of them.
Yeah.
I have probably like one fan for every team in the AFC South that I'm actually friends with. I have a really good friend who's a Jags fan, but he's realistic. He's ready to lose all year. You know?
Yeah,
I
the
had
fans of
a-
our division specifically. They always, our fans included. We have like one good season or one bad season, and the fans would be set on like, oh, well, that's how it's gonna be. Like, not like things don't change every year, you know.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's funny because someone said the other day, or actually it was this morning, I got into the conversation. They said the Colts haven't been relevant since Peyton Manning went to Denver. And I was like, have you not seen what the Colts have done to you
What?
in the last 8 years?
Which team said that?
I don't know who they were a fan of, but it was in one of those AFC South groups. And I'm like, come on. There was a time where Andrew Luck was 16 consecutive wins.
Especially in
against-
our division, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It was
about to
11-0
say, like, they
against
better
Tennessee.
not be a Titans fan. I'm like, what'd you say down there?
You guys never even beat him. Like,
How many
what are
times have you
talking
beat
about?
us after? How many times have you beat us after Peyton Manning left the team? How many?
Yeah.
How
Like
many?
Pat, it's like
The
Pat
Colts-
McAfee would say, we didn't punt against them very much, so
Well,
That's
Reggie
tough.
said it best.
Reggie did say it.
We
man.
played 20 times in 10 years, and y'all done won 3 games.
As far as I
rough.
know, they're what 3-13 against us right now.
something like that. Yeah.
Tennessee
4
alone.
and they're like 4-20 something.
No, I mean in the last decade or the last 8 years since we drafted Andrew Luck, I'm pretty sure they're like 3-13, including last season, which is like Crazy.
Oh yeah, if it's since Andrew Luck was drafted, they've only won 3 times against us.
Yeah, we could play Tennessee 16 games and go to a playoffs with a number 1 seed.
You're like 15-1.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's ridiculous.
what? Jesus, man.
I
don't
could
know.
understand if it was like some fan of an NFC team that just doesn't pay attention saying the Colts haven't been relevant. But if you're in the AFC South and you think the Colts haven't been relevant, dude, you're not paying attention.
Yeah, you're not. And I get it. Last year we weren't that great, but to even do what we did last year when Andrew Luck retires 2 weeks before the regular season, to
Right.
me, that was a win in my eyes.
That's
All
what
right,
I'm saying.
cool.
Like,
We had
it's-
Jacoby-
Yeah, we weren't
Yeah.
as bad as 2017. That to me is huge.
right? It's so crazy. I mean, almost everything that could have gone wrong went wrong for us. I mean, our freaking franchise quarterback retires, and we still went 7-9. Like, we aren't that bad, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And to all the people who keep
Speaking
saying
of fans,
Andrew Luck did not quit, man. That
Yeah.
guy, that poor man was beat up, and they're saying, "Oh, it was an off-field injury." So what, man? So what?
Injury's an injury. No, I
You
don't
don't
fault
know.
the guy.
No, I don't fault him at all either. I was in shock when it originally happened. I was at NTC and I was watching a college game, and then it froze because I was streaming it, and I looked down at the bottom, and the little headline was Andrew Luck informs Colts organization that he retires, and I was like,
That's-
what? I was
Wow.
yeah, I was
I was
and you
in
know
shock.
NTC, man. I was in the middle of a damn desert, bro.
Yeah, so I was in basic still, or in OSAT rather, and you're not allowed to have phones or whatever. You don't have any contacts in the outside world. So like, it was a Sunday or so. It was 1 week that we actually we got our phones for an hour or something like that, and me and my buddies there, we had planned on doing a fantasy football thing, and I was like, all right, no matter what happens, my first pick is Andrew Luck. And we were going to set it up or whatever. And then we all get our phones finally. We go, look, it's like Andrew Luck retired. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? It's the worst way to find out.
The funny thing was as in shock as I was as a Colts, because my phone got blown up, dude. We were still in Aruba, so we didn't go out to the box yet. I literally stopped because we were watching the game, and I stopped. I looked, and everyone who was around me just stared at me and like, "You all right, man? Are you all right?" And I was like, "What?" And I thought I was being pranked, so I exited out of that app. And I go to ESPN, and I'm like, "All right, where's this at?" And it was the headliner, and I was like, "No way!
No way.
What is going on?"
I had to see it 12 times before I believed it. It was tough.
And the messed up thing was it was the end of August at this time, so everyone had already done their drafts, right?
Right.
So as soon as I looked around and everybody was like, "You all right, man?" Because I got paler than I already am, and I was like, "Andrew Luck just retired," and it was funny because all the people who drafted him in fantasy football, all of them turned pale. They're like, "No, you're fucking lying." I was like, "I'm not lying." Dude, I
wish I was.
I walked out. I was sitting outside in the heat and that sandstorm. You know what I'm talking about? And
Yeah.
just getting blasted. It was so depressing.
It's terrible. Terrible.
Everyone calling me. They're like, "Yo, you all right? You all right?"
No, I'm in the middle of the desert and my favorite player just retired. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, man. I was like, "Oh no!" And then I was like, "All right, in Jacoby we trust. Let's go, Jacoby."
Right.
After an
It took
hour,
me a couple days to get there.
No, I've always loved Jacoby. I still love Jacoby. I mean, we talk about it freaking every week, but Jacoby's the guy.
I like Jacoby too, man.
Well, it's not like I didn't like Jacoby. It was just I was shocked and depressed because Luck was my favorite player in the league.
For sure. Yeah.
Now it's Darius Leonard, but
as much as I loved Andrew Luck, he wasn't my favorite player. I mean, he was my favorite quarterback. Obviously, he was my quarterback, but he wasn't my favorite player in the NFL. At that time, I want to say Darius Leonard was my favorite player in the NFL.
Well, he's mine now.
For us to have a defensive player or a defensive rookie of the year, I was so excited.
Yeah,
I was so hyped.
I'm kind of a Darius Leonard stan at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I love Darius Leonard, man. And when he tells you his goals, He normally
MVP, Super Bowl, all of that stuff.
It hypes me up.
Tackles, yeah.
That's what
And
I'm
why
saying.
not? Why not him?
Yeah, why not?
him?
Now that we have DeForest Buckner and that front,
it gives him a serious case. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, they're gonna say he's crazy and this or that, but he's got a case for it.
But that's people who just want to hate, man. If people don't look at the numbers and don't watch his tape, the dude has like, what is it, like 11 forced fumbles in 2 years?
Yeah, it's crazy.
You can correct me if you want, Andy. I can't remember.
It's
I can't remember either. I'm looking it up.
It was a crazy number. It was a crazy number. I was looking at it the other day because I was arguing with somebody about it. It's a crazy number. And then the amount of interceptions that he has as a weak side linebacker, while he's trying to run stop at the same time, and then the amount of tackles he has, it's crazy to see what he's able to do.
Let's see here. So here are his career stats as of last week or the last week of this past season. We got
Football Reference.
We have 284 total tackles.
Yep.
That I think is insane for 2 years.
Not only that, he missed a few games last year.
Yeah, he's missed at least one game both seasons too. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, last year I'm pretty sure he missed like 3 because he had a concussion.
Yeah, I know. And then he missed probably one of his only chances to play Tom Brady because he hurt himself against the Texans that year, and then we went to play New England Thursday night.
We would have beat New England if we had Darius.
I think we were more beat up than just him, though. I don't know about that.
We were that whole year. We were beat up, man. That year was just horrible.
Yeah, but I don't think we had Ty in that game. Like, I resigned myself to the fact that game was not going to go well for us. I just wanted it to not be the same level of blowout that it always is with New England, and it wasn't. We lost by 14 points, so I'll take that on the chin, all things considered. But anyway, so he had the 284 tackles. He's got a total of 12 sacks. 6 forced fumbles.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I thought
2
it was higher
fumble
than
recoveries.
But
and I think
6 is still a high number for forced fumbles in a second year.
I think I was thinking of his fumbles and his recoveries together, but
yeah, me too.
I'm trying to think how many of those forced fumbles are also self recoveries. I know at least one of them is, because one of them was that Chiefs playoff game that he tackled the guy and he's on the ground. And he's like,
"Yo, you remember that one against the Raiders 2 years ago when he just came up behind old dude and was just like, pop!
Yeah, popped it out."
I was like, oh my! I think that was how we came back against the Raiders that year, was because of that fumble.
I just remember being mad that we had to come back.
I think we were actually up against the Raiders at that point. The fumble gave us possession. We ended up winning by 2 scores in that game, and that we went down and scored because it was a short field.
I can't remember. And I watch every Colts game, so if everyone who watches every Colts game like I do remembers every Colts game like that, boy, you need to go be like a brain surgeon or something, because I can't remember every moment. Things start to blend in together, especially when you play certain teams so often. It's like, oh, I can't remember, man. We did this against Houston. It could have been last year. It could have been 10 years ago. I don't know.
Hey, Andy's one of them guys, man. He's got that photographic memory going.
Exactly. That's why I always
know what it is? Every time we win a game in the season, I'm like spamming highlights on YouTube of that season or of that particular game. If we lose a game, I'm like, I'm not watching that. This is bullshit.
And here's what upsets me a little bit is people that are like us now. Let's say kids that are like us now that are like 7 or 8 years old, love the game of football and want to watch every game of whatever team they root for. They can. When I was growing up, I couldn't. I was stuck watching the Philadelphia Eagles every Sunday. And I was like, man, whatever.
So
I'm gonna go play Madden.
It's funny you say that, because the years I really got into football, or I really started being a diehard Colts fan were my college years because I was in Michigan for college, and everybody. Well, I can't even say everybody because there were a lot of people fans of all kinds of different teams. One of my best friends from college was actually a Patriots fan, but he's one of the good Patriots fans. He was like, if it's not the Patriots, I'm happy to root for the Colts, and he was even more so because of me. And the fun, I'll get to that in a minute. But that's when I really started getting into being a Colts fan because I would talk about, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Colts. I'm from Indianapolis, and they're like, so Lions eat Colts, and I'm like, not on the football field.
Yeah.
Who went 0-16? Who won a Super Bowl?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we played the Lions once while I was at college, and of course the Lions beat the Colts, and I was like,
So when I was growing up as a kid, man, I was like, I had Eagles things when I was really little, because of where I was growing up. But I didn't really watch football. Baseball was my thing when I was a kid, so I used to like watching the Phillies because Philadelphia. That's the only Philly team that I like is the Phillies. When it comes to hockey, I'm a Devils fan. It's the only professional sport that has a team in New Jersey is the Devils. Minus back in the day when we used to have the Nets, which I was a Nets fan until they left, and that's when I stopped watching basketball. I was like, I'm not watching basketball. I don't like the Sixers, so I'm not doing it.
Come be a Pacers fan.
So I've tried, and I don't mind the Pacers at all. I was like, you know what? I with any sport that I have to question what team I like, I'm just going to watch Indiana. That's just what's going to happen because
Good choice.
Colts are my main team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I will always stick with the Phillies for baseball. But then when I played baseball for a couple of years, and then when I turned like 8 years old, I was like, look, I want to try football, And I looked at my mom. I said, Mom, I want to try football. I want to play football. I was very little. I was like 4'7" at the time. And I was like the smallest kid on the damn field. But I loved the game so much that I was like, all right, I'm going to watch football now. And I started watching football, but the first game I watched was the Colts-Miami game. And I was like, I love this Colts team right here. And just stuck with it ever since. And just telling my mom, like, no, I like the Colts. I'm not wearing Eagles. I like the Colts. It's like an 8-year-old. I like the Colts. My mom went along with it, and she just started buying me Colts stuff. Just stuck onto it, and I just stayed a Colts fan ever since.
I can appreciate that of your mom for indulging the going in a different direction from the Eagles.
Well, she was pretty good with that. My brother claims the Cowboys.
Oh, wow.
So for my mom to even allow that to happen in the house.
Yeah, I was about to say. In an Eagles household, that's tough.
That's what I'm saying. And then my sister, when we were growing up, she liked the Niners, mainly because she was obsessed with Steve Young. When we were kids, she thought he was cute, I guess.
But I knew a girl in high school felt the same way about Brady, and I was like,
how?
Well, sorry, he's got like a $10 million model wife.
Yeah, right? No kidding.
you can all you want.
I was the same way you were with baseball, but with basketball, and everything Pacers, NBA in general. I was that guy that freaking looked up the history and this and that, just trying to be like an NBA star. I love basketball. I don't know at what point I really fell into. I think it was really like when I got to high school. I was like freaking 14 or whatever, and started going to the high school football games. I was like, I've always followed football, but now actually seeing it like every week because I was in the drum line, so we went to every football game, and that just really made me more interested in the game. And then I got into watching college every Saturday, and then obviously Colts on Sunday.
Oh, he's about to get cut out. See, I was the same way, but I was so obsessed with football growing up, and it was like I watch baseball, but I will not watch it on TV. I'll put it on every once in a while on my phone wherever I am. Be like, hey, let's check what the Phillies are doing, but they play at sporadic times, So I'm like, I'm at work, I'm at work and I'm like, oh shit, the Phillies game's on, and I'll check it out real quick. But there's so many games to a basketball season and a baseball season and hockey that I'm like, I can't watch every single game. And I think that's why I kind of like got stuck on football so much, because I only got to worry about one day a week, and that's it. One day, and I know what time they're playing, and I know I'll be available at that time. So I don't know. I think every time I've played NBA like 2K or whatever, I've always chosen the Pacers. I think it's just because of Indiana itself, but like I don't even have a college football team.
I don't really either. I'll cheer for Purdue because my brother went there, and I will say this about Purdue. They had a game against Ohio State a couple years ago, and my buddy's also a grad student at Purdue, and he went to the game, and we were like, it's going to be cool to see them against Ohio State. It's going to be prime time because it's Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody was. I don't think anybody except that Tyler Trent kid. You remember him?
Yeah.
The one who had, I think, some rare form of bone cancer, and it turned out the whole nation got behind Purdue because of that kid. And he went to the game. He was like an honorary team captain. But I watched that game against Ohio State, and I watched Purdue just destroy Ohio State, and I was like,
when it came to college, when I wanted to play football, I wanted to play at Florida. Mainly because when I was a little kid, the first video football game I ever played, the very first video game for football was NCAA. I actually didn't think it was real. I was like 9. I didn't know that it was an actual league at the time.
you know what's funny about that? I think the NCAA headquarters are downtown Indy.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have to look that up, but I know that like it was just it was like I was playing the game. The first team I chose was the Gators. I think it was their uniforms that kind of caught me at the time, and I was like, oh. And I think they were really good that year, so their rating was really high too. And I was like, oh, cool. So I played the Gators, and then I really liked the Gators. And I said it as a kid that I'm a Gators fan. I'm a Gators fan. But then I also liked Penn State because Penn State was close to home. Obviously, I'll never be a Rutgers fan. I think that team's irrelevant in sports. But and then when I deployed, that whole Jerry Sandusky, the whole scandal in Penn State happened. I think I would have stayed a Penn State fan if they didn't take Joe Pa's statue down after he died. I think that whole thing was all messed up. But
I have no idea about that. Why did they take his statue down?
Because he knew what Sandusky was doing.
Oh.
Yeah. So and I mean, and he didn't say anything, so I get it. I understand at the same time. But at that whole situation made me not want to be involved with Penn State. So I was like, nope. And then ever since then, because that was 2011, ever since then I was like, I don't have a college team. I don't know who to root for. I've tried to root for Stanford. I just can't get into the whole fear of the geeks thing. It's a good school, and they've provided some pretty good football players. I can't get into it. Their conference is pretty boring to me. I tried to watch them for a couple of years, and their games are just so slow. I'm like,
If we ever get Bobby Okereke on for whatever if we're ever able to get him interested and be like guest appearance or whatever, I'm going to tell him you said that because he went to Stanford.
Well, so did Andrew Luck. Kobe Fleener went there too. So did Christian McCaffrey and Solomon Thomas. A lot of guys went there. Richard Sherman. But it's just like right now their team is kind of boring. It's just a really slow, boring squad.
That's fair.
All right, so we're at like 49 minutes, almost 50 minutes. Go ahead and ask your trivia question. All right, so for anyone who's watching, we do trivia. You win $20 break credit for DNR. We're sorry we got really into our conversations. So if you're here viewing and you want to collect sports memorabilia, we're going to put on a question. The question is going to be at the bottom of the screen. If you get the answer correct, message me after this, and we will get you into DNR breaks and use your break credit so you can win some sports memorabilia. Let's get it so that they at least have 10 minutes to answer.
All right. So here's my trivia question for the day. So, in Colts history, which Colts punter has made the most Pro Bowl appearances? What is his name, and how many Pro Bowl appearances did he make?
All right. So there it is. It's right there. It's at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead and bring your comments in. And just tell us who you think it was. If you're right, we'll tell you. If you're wrong, we'll tell you. We'll give you a little hint since we kind of went way too far into time. It's not Pat McAfee. All right? It is not Pat McAfee.
Not Pat. Not know-how.
Yeah. Man, I guess Trev's internet's not working too well, huh? He never came back, so.
Yeah, I don't think he's good. I think he said he's not going to be able to come back.
Oh, did he message?
Yeah, he messaged us.
Oh, I don't think I got it.
I've got
there he
Facebook
goes.
pulled up on
There
the
he
site,
goes.
so that's why I was able to get it.
All right. So what were we talking about? So before we got into this,
I did want to. I didn't want to get off on a tangent when I had initially said this. My friend in college, who was a Patriots fan, he was a fraternity brother of mine too, and we did a Secret Santa for everybody who lived in the house.
okay.
I got him, and I think I immediately knew what I was getting him. I was going to get him a Patriots beanie off of the NFL shop because it was like a $20 or $25 price limit.
Right.
And I think I saw one exactly at $25. I technically cheated because I paid more for shipping, but the item itself.
Shipping doesn't count.
Yeah, shipping doesn't count. You're right. So I got him the Patriots beanie, and I didn't think anything of it. It's always been interesting to me to see like other articles of clothing for other teams. So I had the beanie, and it came in like a plastic thing, and I wanted to kind of like put it in a gift bag or something outside of the mailing. So I was sitting on it for like a week. I gave it to him. Obviously, he likes it, but here's the blowback that came down on me. Ever since then, I would start getting notifications or promotions from like the NFL shop website on either Facebook, my email, whatever. And it was like, we hope you like this Patriots item that you bought. Check out some of our other Patriots merchandise. And I'm like, no, stop. You're wrong. And I think once in a while I still get it. And I've bought so many Colts things from the NFL shop website. I've got a whole box here if you want me to bring it out.
Yeah, cold stuff you said?
Yeah, I got a whole box here of stuff that I picked up at that website. Ross Crafton, it's not Hunter Smith.
Oh. Did we have a Hunter Smith?
Yeah, he was the punter before McAfee.
Back then, man, I was a kid. I didn't pay attention to the punter.
That's fine.
Pat McAfee put punters on the map. Now I want to know who our punter is on top. Now it actually matters.
But let's see what I got here. I've been kind of hoping to show you guys sometimes. Hold on, let me bring this to me. Let's see what I've got here for us today. I got one of these. Colts foam horse head.
Oh,
I got this. Yeah, it's nice. When it was the football season, we had like a team spirit week at my employment or at my work. And one of them was hat day, and I came in wearing this. Now, of course, I have to have headphones in, so that made it difficult.
I would do it.
It was also hot, and it is hot. I thought about wearing it to my Tampa game, but I decided ultimately against it. I got my special Colts Super Bowl champion hat. I'm going to a Bears game this fall, should they allow fans, obviously. And I'm going to wear this.
I would.
Because
I
it's the
definitely would.
Bears.
I definitely would.
Let's see. Got one of these.
Oh, that's nice too.
And on the other side, if you look closely, it says Bears and Colts.
Yeah, I see it.
I've got 3 of the commemorative wine bottles that they've done recently. One was 10-year anniversary of the Super Bowl win back in 2016. One was for Peyton Manning's number retirement, so it's got 18 on it. That was from the 2017, then 35 seasons.
I just have a lot of stuff that I've won from DNR. I've got a lot of stuff from that are Colts too. This T-shirt I just got, it took like 4 months to freaking get here. Should piss me off.
I don't think I've seen the T-shirts. Show me.
It's with the new lettering too.
Ooh, I've been meaning to get that one actually. I'm thinking about maybe doing that with when I get paid next, which is a week from now.
As soon as they changed it, I was like, all right, I gotta get a shirt. I haven't had a T-shirt ever, but then I got my alcohol cups, my big boy cups, and then a whole bunch of jerseys and hoodies, and I've got hats for days, man. I think 90% of my hats are Colts hats. That's all I wear are Colts hats.
I believe that about my own hats. In fact, Santa hat. I don't remember what year it was. I think I was in high school at the time, but the Colts, I think it might have been 2008 that the Colts were on a roll because they started off not doing so well, but then I was like, I'm starting to wear the hat, show my support, and they won every game for a long time with me wearing the hat, and I'm kind of superstitious. So
we got a guest down here.
And that is the right guess, Ron Stark.
Ron Stark.
Now, for a bonus, for a chance to win absolutely nothing extra, how many Pro Bowl appearances did he make?
That's funny. Oh, man. Let's see if I can even answer that.
Yeah, but I was like running out of ideas for the trivia, and I found a Reddit post that was like tough trivia night Colts questions, and I was like, I think I can get some mileage with this.
Yeah. I want to start doing some trivia more often. And do some more episodes like this where we just talk Colts football. Hopefully next time we'll have Trev and Rob the whole time.
Well, I could see if my friend Myson wants to come on again. He was interested. He had to take a rain check.
Yeah.
5 or 6, Ross. A little too high.
Hey, but good job, Ross. Make sure you message me, Matt Rutter. If you're not in For the Shoe Colts group, go ahead and join, and then hit me up. We'll get away. We'll find a way to get together so that I can get you this break credit that you had just won for winning the trivia. So I think tonight we can go ahead and end it on time. We've been talking for an hour about everything and anything Colts. Appreciate everybody coming out and watching. Make sure you come back next week. We'll have more trivia, more chances for you to win break credit. Make sure you go ahead and join NFL Longest Yard, join For the Shoe, follow For the Shoe, follow Sports Fanatics, and join DNR Breaks. It's great times, man. We all love football. We all love Colts. So make sure you guys stick around, man. Keep coming back. It's just fun. We don't do this to seem like we're smarter than anybody else. It's just so we can talk football. This is it. We don't care if we hit 2,000 views, 3,000 views. That's not why we're here. We just want to interact with everybody else, get everybody else to come join, fans. It's just fun. That's all this is.
Yeah.
So we'll hope to see you all next week. And go Colts.
Go Colts.
And Luck scores! Ingram picked up the fumble and scores! Touchdown! Hedger and James!
Pat McAfee's lost his mind.
That's Mathis. The Colts have the football. Steps up. Throws one over the intercepted. Marlon Jackson! Marlon got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl!
The rivalry is back on.